Hi, it's grade. Today we're going to be reviewing how to write equations of lines from a graph. Somewhere on your paper, write down the general equation for a line. What is the general equation for a line? Right, our equation is y equals mx plus b. What does m represent? Our m is our slope, which is the same as the rate of change, or your unit rate. It is also our rise over run, or our change in y over change in x. What does our b represent? Our b is our y-intercept, which is also our initial value, or our starting value, and it's the point where our line hits the y-axis. Now let's try a practice problem. So we need to write an equation from this graph. What are the two things that we need to know in order to write our equation? Right, the two things that I need to know in order to find the equation on my line are my m and my b, because my equation is y equals mx plus b. So first let's start with our m. How can I find my m? In order to find my m, I need to start by finding two perfect points. So I see one here, and I see one here. Then I can find my rise over my run, or my change in y over my change in x. So I'll just write down rise over run. You may have learned it in your class as change in y over change in x. So going from one of my points to the other, how much does my y need to change? What is my rise? I need to go up 1. So that will be positive 1 because I'm going up. Then I need to do my run. So I need to go over 2. Is that 2 going to be positive or negative? It's positive because I am running to the right. How else can I write this slope of positive 1 over positive 2? It's the same as negative 1 over negative 2, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. A question that's come up a few times in class is, will we get the same slope if we choose different points? Let's try it. So if I try this point and this point, which are two different points than the one I initially started with. Actually, I'll use two completely different points. So neither point was used in the last problem. Let's see if my slope will be the same. So if I start at this point, how far do I need to rise? I need to rise 1, 2, 3. So my rise will be 3. And then I need to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my run will be 6. Is 3 or 6 the same as 1/2? Yes, it is. I can divide the top and the bottom by 3, and you'll end up with 1/2. So my slope is positive 1 over positive 2, which is, as we said before, the same as negative 1 over negative 2. Now I need to find my b. And what is our b of this line? Our b is our y-intercept, so it's where our line hits the y-axis. The point at which this happens is right at 2. How can I write this as coordinates? What are the coordinates of point B? The coordinates are 0, 2, because at my y-intercept, x is always 0. Now I have my m and I have my b, so the rest is easy. We know our general equation is y equals mx plus b, so I just substitute my values. Y equals 1/2 x plus 2, and that is my equation for my line. We're going to do one more problem, and this is a real-life example. First, let's look at the graph. What is this graph talking about? The title is saving money, so we're saving money, and it's amount of money per time. As the amount of money increases, as the time increases, does the amount of money increase or decrease? The amount of money increases. What are the two things that we need to know in order to write our equation of this line? I need to know my m, and I need to know my b. Let's start with our m. What is our m of this problem? Again, I just need to find my two perfect points. Can I choose any 2 points? Yes, I can. Then I need to find my rise or I run. I see I'm rising that much, and then I'm running this much. Does that mean that my slope is 1 over 1? No, because if we look at the axes, when I rise, how much am I rising by? I'm going from 30 to halfway between 30 and 40. So I'm going from 30 to 35. which is a rise of 5. You have to make sure, especially when it's word problems, that you're looking at the axes. So my rise is 5, and then if I look down here, my change in y is just 1. I can also write this as negative 5 over negative 1, and I can also simplify it to just 5. What is my b in this problem? What is my initial value? Where does my line hit the y-axis? It hits the y-axis at 30, so my b is 30. Now we just need to put it together to write our equation. My equation is y equals mx plus b. I substitute for m, 5, and then for b I substitute 30. So you get y equals 5x plus 30. We just have one more question to answer below, which is what does the slope of this line represent? At the beginning we talked about how when time increases, the amount of money increases. So what does the slope or the rate of change of the line represent? Try it on your own and then I'll give you an exemplar answer. The slope of this line represents the unit rate or our rate of change. So it's the rate that the amount of money is increasing. In this problem, the slope represents the amount of money saved per week. Remember when we're talking about unit rate, it's always really good to have that word per in there. So it's the amount of money that you are saving for each week that you're saving money. Go on and try the back side of